Hey, update video. We're talking about 3 things. One of them's pretty short, but whatever. So, Ashen, the creator tag that I've got now on Epic, and Twilight Imperium is coming back, I think, in some form. I'm pretty sure. We'll get to that at the end. We'll get to the details on that one last. We'll get to Ashen and so on first. First of all, Ashen. So, it's a Souls-like game, and it's been out for a bit, but I was busy playing other games, in part because when I was moving, I started Smash Brothers on a whim, and it turned out to be a commitment. It was a fun commitment, but it was a commitment. But yeah, this Ashen was a Souls-like game that was announced like a year or 2 ago, and then kind of went radio silent, and then it came out of nowhere as being an Epic Games Store exclusive. So that's going to be the next game I play after I finish Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers being a game that ends on Wednesday, so the premiere of Ashen will start on Thursday. That'll be the first episode, and I'm telling you this in advance for 2 reasons. One, because a lot of you guys like to play ahead and not get spoiled by the playthroughs and stuff, and then you follow and watch the playthrough afterwards. So here's your advance warning to get started in advance if you want to follow along with the videos. But also because when you buy Ashen, you can actually buy it in a way where I make money with no additional cost to you, and that's fun for me. We'll take a small side detour into the sad news, which is that Patreon is saying scary things that are kind of stupid and infuriating and so on, being all like, this isn't sustainable, we're so generous with our business model, and I'm like, what? Like, they say really scary things like, we're being so generous with our 90% payoff, our 90% payouts. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You are not just arbitrarily deciding to share 90% with us like YouTube does. Like, YouTube has like massive servers and made an entire website where like all the videos are hosted and like has to pay for the server costs and running the whole company and everything. But like, Patreon is like more like PayPal, where it's like, it's a conduit that we use to put money through. Could you imagine if like your bank or PayPal was like, we've been really generous sharing like 95% of the money with the person who owns the money, but we're gonna like start sharing less of it or something, which is some of the scary shit they've been saying. They haven't done anything yet, and I'm desperately hoping that a mountain of negative feedback just makes them not do something. They did something scary like last year or something where they changed how fees were charged, which in particular really hurt people that support for like a bunch of different creators for $1 each, and everyone was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And also a lot of us, including me, lost several Patreon people. I think I lost hundreds of dollars that time. Yay. But then they reversed it because everyone was like, what are you doing? So maybe that all the shouting will make them stop this time too, but I don't know. I'll look into alternatives, but the alternatives are not generally great because one of the big things is just trust. People understand what Patreon is and know what it is, and because of just general brand recognition, people are more willing to use Patreon than alternatives. Like services like Game Wisp try to support YouTube creators and so on, like in a similar way as Patreon, and some of these systems are on paper better, but they're only better if you can get people to actually adopt to them. There's also the membership thing on YouTube, which I might start activating as an alternative to Patreon and stuff like that, where I might just have to manage the same perks but across several different platforms, basically on between YouTube and Patreon and other services. Because if they do dumb fucked up things that endanger my livelihood, then I'll have to switch. But I certainly hope that doesn't happen. And I also certainly hope that if it does happen, that it'll take a few years, hopefully, and I'll grow more before then, so to offset the losses caused by them. Because even if I do switch platforms, getting every single individual person to switch with you it always has such a big drop-off rate. It's like, just when I switched YouTube channels from like sad games to this channel in the first place, like I could not convert any of the existing subscribers to check out my new channel, and like that was a free just click on the button situation, let alone shifting around where you're supporting money and all that. So that's one thing going on in the background, which contextualizes some of what I'm doing right now, which we'll get to now. And this is what I'm getting to: the Epic Games Support a Creator program. This is interesting because it's a direct reward for the thing that I've already been doing, which is that I do daily Let's Tries, and I cover a whole bunch of different games, and I link the game in the description, usually the Steam page, mainly out of convenience, and because of that's where I usually get the games. That's usually what I'm getting the games on in the first place, so I'm linking the same version of the game that I'm playing. And I kind of rely on people to do their own research to find out if it happens to be on the platform they would prefer it to be on and so on, because doing that for every single game would be a bit much for me at times. But what you're going to start seeing is I'm going to be changing the referral links, if the game is on the Epic Games Store, to be the Epic Games Store link, and that's because they're going to pay me for doing that. I'm being as transparent as I can up front and clear with you guys as possible, and also showing you guys the other money concerns I might be facing in the future to try to contextualize this, because yeah, I don't want to manipulate anybody or anyone to be surprised. This is really straightforward. It's just they have a referral link system now. By the way that the standard works, and you can check out the pages that I'll try to link all the pages I'm showing in this video in the description so you can read them yourself in their entirety. But basically the idea is that if you buy anything on the Epic Games Store, meaning any of the games, or if you buy V-Bucks, the currency for Fortnite, you can actually enter my name, SEBASTIANSB, my username, as a creator tag in it. And I will get about 5% or more of that purchase. So you don't pay anything extra, but because I referred you, and you even just choose to add the link in general, because you're just thinking of me at that time, isn't that sweet? Then I just get some of that money. I guess Epic's just willing to part with it, because they value the fact that we're referring these things in the first place, and we're sending these sales this way. They're acknowledging the role that YouTube and Twitch streamers play in promoting these games, because I get comments on every video all the time. Not literally every video, but I get comments all the time that people are buying this or that video game because of the series I'm doing on it, and that's like a big thing for like Subnautica and a bunch of other ones, which, by the way, Subnautica is on the Epic Games Store. I'll go down the list in a moment of the ones that games I've covered already that are on the Epic Games Store if you've been thinking of getting it. So here's the list of games that I have covered or will cover in the future that are all on the Epic Games Store, and if you were feeling like picking them up, then you can actually do the kickback in the system. So there's Fortnite, which itself is free. Well, actually, I think you can still buy the premium solo campaign that is not a battle royale, which is the thing I covered the most extensively, but also in the battle royale, the microtransactions are actually subjectable to this thing. If you buy the $20 V-Bucks pack, you can send some of it to me. I don't endorse microtransactions or loot boxes generally, but y'all keep defending them, so you do you, I guess. The Jackbox Party Pack 1 through 5, I think I've only covered the first 2, but those are, you can check out the videos there. There's like a general PSA too, like even if you don't care about this whole system, here's some playthroughs I have done or am about to do that you are maybe interested in checking out or waiting to see happen. Ashen's happening on Thursday. We did Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek a while back. There's Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. I covered Subnautica, as you guys are very aware of and very vocal about. And I'm going to be covering Below Zero as soon as it is actually out of early access, because I want to play the correct, proper, finished version of it. I did What Remains of Edith Finch, Super Meat Boy, which was a Patreon series, and Hades is another example of a game I'm waiting to be out of early access. It is a game from Supergiant Games. They made Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre, which I've covered Transistor and Pyre here on the channel. Not the biggest fan ever of Transistor, but Pyre is a game I'm fascinated by, and Bastion was a Game of the Year candidate for me when it came out. Like it was like a back and forth between like that game, Dark Souls 1, and Portal 2, which are all games that amazingly came out the same year, which is absurd. And I just haven't covered it yet because coming out predates my YouTube videos, if I remember correctly. Those all came out the same year, right? Or am I misremembering that? It's fine. That's not the topic. So Hades is almost certainly going to be fantastic, but I'm once again just waiting to cover it until it's done, because I don't want to come back months later and cover it again, and months later and cover it again, waiting for it to be done. Also, Gorogoa was a pretty and short little puzzle game thing that I covered a while back, so maybe check that out. So how does this work? You just go, boop, I would like to buy Ashen, then you log in and crap, I actually had to look up at a screenshot because as far as I can tell, the creator tag will not display for me because I have it. But there it is on the right side of the screen. You could type SEBASTIANSB into that, and there you go. No change for you really, but I, as the creator that referred the thing to you, gets a kickback. It's that straightforward. Me getting approved actually has some pretty fortuitous timing too, because they happen to be doing this like share the love event right now that actually started 4 days ago and continues until February 22nd, where instead of getting 5% kickback, I get 20%, which is absurd. And apparently that's coming from Epic's part of the thing. So like if you buy Subnautica, the Subnautica devs aren't making less to pay me more. It's actually Epic, the people running the store, that are giving up their percentage and giving it to me for referring the thing. So they're obviously pushing pretty hard on this. You also get these custom skins if that's a thing that you're into and you actually play Fortnite. God rest your soul. As far as how this is going to affect future content and whether this is going to be my big sellout moment where I lose all integrity and so on, I wouldn't be too worried about it, but I am being upfront and transparent as possible immediately to tell you everything about the situation so that you guys are fully informed, so you can make your own decisions about what you think is going on and so on. But I will remind you that I did do this video not too long ago where I got a free copy of Indie Box and I unboxed it and I was like, this product kind of sucks, and which probably translated to 0 sales. And then the company went under and does not exist anymore, which I do feel kind of bad about, but I still think that their product was kind of bad. It was like a weird dog chew toy coming with a boxed copy of Banner Saga 1, which can't get any software updates because it's that. It's like, I get the idea, but like this, I don't think this is a product that was gonna work. You're welcome to watch that video. I don't really sugarcoat and fake things for the sake of stuff. I don't really have a lot of shill in me so far. YouTube hasn't broken me yet. So it's probably not going to affect the tone of my videos at all. And if I'm not enjoying a video, if Ashen turns out to be really frustrating and bothersome in ways like The Surge or Lords of the Fallen were, and I have a bunch of shit to say about it, I'm still gonna do that. And to Epic's credit, their own store, their own page says that. They're like, no, don't pretend, don't become fake, don't make ads, just do your normal thing and refer the code and be authentic. So even they don't want that, apparently, which is kind of neat to say, although saying it isn't always the same thing as meaning it. But yeah, I don't think this is gonna suddenly make me be like all falsely enthusiastic about games I secretly hate in order to sell them or anything like that. I also, frankly, just don't expect this to even work. I'm doing my due diligence and putting this out there that's saying, hey, this is a way you can support me, but I don't actually expect it to that much to come of it. But it'd be irresponsible not to be doing this. So I'm just putting this out here and explaining to you guys what's going on and making sure you guys understand and that's what's happening. And now you'll know why from now on, if a game happens to be on the Epic Game Store, I'll default to giving a referral link to that version over the Steam version because they pay me. And I'm being as clear as possible about that. If you have reservations about the Epic Game Store, as people mentioned when I was like being like, hey, Subnautica's free and stuff like that in the past, that's fine. Go ahead and buy all your games on GOG and get them good old DRM free copies. I'm not going to pretend these platforms don't exist. I myself own thousands of games on Steam, and also conceptually GOG is probably maybe the best store, but also any company has, no company deserves entire all of the trust necessarily. Generally these people are all trying to make money, and so while GOG might seem comparatively better than Steam, you know, corporations. I'm just trying to look out for me, basically, and make this all work out. And that's just the thing. Diversify your income sources. At some point, I'll probably have merch, maybe, if I ever get around to actually having a shirt worth selling and stuff like that. Maybe I'll, at some point, figure out how to make a Columnar joining shirt, because people have asked about that because it's in the thumbnail and stuff like that. And I agree. I kind of want one. It'd be fun to make some different designs and stuff like that. So maybe someday. But basically, I'm just trying to diversify my income sources between potential merch, Epic Games, referral codes, Patreon, YouTube, because I don't trust any of these fucks. Any of these corporations can screw me over tomorrow, and that's part of the fun. And you guys have been, some of you guys have been living that too, because some of you guys work for the US government and just surprise didn't get 2 paychecks in a row and didn't know when the next paycheck would come. We're all kind of dealing with this shit, so that's why I do this. So yeah, please, if you do happen to buy Epic Games Store games or microtransactions, enter SEBASTIANSB or your favorite creator's tag in the little sidebar, which does not affect your price but can support the people there. It's going back to the freaking... I sat here for too long and it's going back to the thing. But yeah, if you happen to be buying a game on Epic Games Store, please enter the creator tag of your favorite creator. Me or somebody else's whose tag you knows, and you can just give them a little kickback for having referred you in the first place and encourage you to find out about said game. And if you're not buying a game on Epic Games Store, that's fine too. Just do you. Just putting this out there because it's we're all trying to survive. Frankly, I saw that Patreon headline and I was like, I just moved, man. Don't do this to me today. On that note, I wish it wasn't with the somber background of maybe there's a sword of Damocles hanging over this whole thing, but hey, we're approaching that 2,000 goal for getting VR was the goal when we reached that point on Patreon, and we're very, very close to getting that. So just shining light on that. That's also the place where you can nominate and vote on whatever game's going to happen after Mario Odyssey, and it's where I have about 50 hours of podcasts in the form of the Q&A series, which you can ask questions to and I will answer them, and I'm actually running out of questions, so if you want to get in on that, you might be in the very next episode. As far as Twilight Imperium goes, we're finally getting to that. We're currently on schedule to play our next game this Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. I don't know what form this is going to take. In the past, they've all been streamed here on this channel, although sometimes we don't get the stream to work and I have to upload the VOD later or something like that, and so that's happening. But at the same time, Marty is actually planning on launching a tabletop channel or some kind of other solo channel, and if he wants to launch a channel, I totally give him the right to have this content on his channel, because he's the one that actually organizes all this stuff and sets up all the recording stuff and everything. Like this stream, this crazy interface you're seeing, and like the programmed stuff happening in the corner and everything, like he sets that stuff up. That's his project. I just show up and play and bring the views to some extent, because like it's as a stream on my channel and I've got an audience and everything, but like this is all his work. So if he wants to do his own channel and so on with the stuff, I'm totally cool with that. But it's still unclear whether he's going to launch in time, so I don't know what's going to happen. But expect a game on Saturday, I hope. If it doesn't stream for some reason, I assume technical difficulties or whatnot, but we do end up recording it, then it'll have to it'll upload probably sometime that week. I don't know if it'll be on my channel or his channel, and I mean, I say that both in reference to stream and VOD, but if it goes on his channel in both cases, I will tell you here on this channel. I will not give you continuous updates up until Saturday about things as new details come to the surface via YouTube, because I don't want to keep uploading videos about this every day or anything, but keep an eye on Twitter or Discord, and I'll post on Discord and Twitter if new information comes out specifically about like where this is going to be happening or what the context is, or like if anything changes about the schedule and the time. But right now it's Saturday 11 a.m. Pacific, hopefully. If it's going to be streamed on this channel, then it'll just pop up as a stream at that time. But if it's going to be streamed on his channel, then I'll upload a video being like, hey, Twilight Imperium stream is happening now over there, and it'll link to there. So either way, if you're subscribed, you should be able to know that it's happening. For those that haven't seen these before, these are like marathon sessions, like anywhere from like 6 to like 11 hours of like a tabletop game that's kind of like Civilization-ish, in that there's like non-linear progression towards victory, where you're trying to get victory points via a diverse set of objectives, and a bunch of people are in a free-for-all where There's just a lot of diplomacy and table drama and interactions and so on. It's basically one of the coolest games I've ever played, and it's always an event to finally get a chance to play it. And it's been a while since the last one, and some of you guys have been asking about it a lot. There's a playlist in the description to the previous 5 videos if you want to check those out. There are references you can find in the descriptions of those videos to like the rule set or videos that do a good job at introducing the game, because that's not something that we really have set up, but there's some nice scripted introductions to this game that are entertaining and fun, that give you an idea of what's going on, so you can then watch the videos better and have some fun with that and join us on Saturday. But yeah, thanks for watching like always, guys, and I will see you next time.